Welcome into Hawk Talk here on 91.7 The Edge, WSUW Whitewater, also streaming live on UWW-TV. We're glad you're with us tonight. I'm your host, Chris Pittner, joined by a slightly smaller crew this week of Laz, Colin, Ryan, and Mikey. No Alex today, unfortunately. He's a little under the weather. Guys, how are we doing?
I'm sad that Alex isn't here.
I'd be better if Alex Limber was in the
I think
right now.
I was saying this before the show. Let's do a 10-second moment of silence for Alex's
I agree.
absence today. Ready, set, go.
Thank you.
Was that 10? That was about 7.
That was 10. I counted. It was 10.
Looking at the
10 Mississippi, you know what I'm saying?
I hope Limber's watching back at home and just noticed the disrespect from you, Chris.
No disrespect. No
Alex is never
disrespect
coming
was
back.
We
given.
gotta
after
shout out
that.
the troops, man.
Yeah, we do.
Our fallen soldier.
I feel like that was honestly just a contest to see if everyone would laugh or not. More or less.
Laz
Laz
almost
tried his
cracked.
best
Yeah,
to make us crack.
I saw him smirking over there a little
That's
bit.
why I looked at them and not at him.
I figured Ryan would be the one to crack, to be honest.
Alex is my boy. I haven't been. He's in one of my classes, and we're tight like that. We're good.
You're chill like
I
that?
chill like that.
Wow.
All right, we have an action-packed show that we're going to have to get through today, so I want to get started right away here. Warhawk thought for today is, who's the athlete that inspired you to get into sports? Laz, I will start with you on this one.
That's got to be Patrick Kane. Hands down, the best American hockey player ever. Led the Blackhawks to just an absolute dynasty in my adolescence, in my childhood. It was just a beautiful thing to watch. Every night he was doing something crazy. He also got in a lot of trouble for a lot of different things, one of them being he beat up a taxi driver. Don't know why he did that, but I'm
Probably
sure.
had a good reason.
Yeah, he probably
You know,
had a
stuff
good
happens.
You
reason.
don't just beat up a
You don't
taxi
just beat
driver
up a
for no
taxi
reason.
He probably had it coming.
Probably disrespected
Right.
him.
But yeah, Patrick Kane.
Is he on a roster right now?
Yeah,
He's
on
currently.
Detroit.
No, he's not on Detroit. I think it was the Rangers he was on.
No,
Or no.
he's on
Fact
Detroit.
check time.
I
No,
got-
it was-
Gotcha.
he was lately on the Rangers. He
Jamie?
went somewhere.
Pull it up.
Jamie?
Dude, he's
Jamie?
on Detroit.
Jamie.
He's not on Detroit.
Jamie.
He's on Detroit.
I don't think
He is on the Detroit Red Wings.
He's on the Detroit Red Wings.
Okay,
but
that's where he
36
was last
Mikey,
year.
36 Shut your
36-year-old
mouth,
Patrick Kane.
Yeah, dude, shut up.
Mikey, is Mike 5 going to have to be muted again today?
There's a chance.
If
I don't
that
even
was
know
over,
why
The sound of it.
Isn't muted to start the show.
Patrick Kane is a very good shout, though, for sure.
Yeah, if he's listening right now,
Yeah.
which
If you're
I'm
out
sure
there,
he is.
Obviously.
just know that
Sitting
Alex
on his
Lazzarini
couch.
was inspired by you
Right.
as a
While,
child.
while,
Right.
while he's sitting on his couch because he's injured right now, sadly. No, that
Dude,
is
the
a fact.
slander is unnecessary.
Yeah,
I'm not slandering him. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
you said
he's-
sadly like that wasn't a backhanded.
Michael Peterson.
Compliment right
Michael
there.
Peterson.
What?
Stop talking.
Yeah, pull out the government name. Go to your room. Take a nap.
Sit in the corner.
All right,
All right.
Colin.
You know, when I was just a wee young lad, I watched this man slash to the rim, dunk every play, just
Gee,
dominate
I wonder
games,
who this could be.
just take over games. And I saw that, and it made me fall in love with the sport of basketball and just sports in general. And let me tell you who that man is not. It's not Giannis Antetokounmpo. It's the king. LeBron James.
LeBron.
He really double
The GOAT.
jerseyed today.
The GOAT.
For those listening here on the radio, Colin originally had on a hoodie with Giannis's jersey over the top, has taken it off and revealed his true
I can't believe
his
for-
true
for a
love,
single
LeBron
I would
James.
like to, regarding the whole jersey thing, I have no jerseys with me here at school.
That is
That's
Why?
fine.
I like my Cream City jersey.
I will not be putting on a Giannis jersey.
All right.
I apologize.
Understandable.
How about a
You could
Giannis Rockets jersey in about 4 weeks?
Yeah, that I
A
will.
Giannis Nets jersey? Question mark.
Oh,
Giannis Heat
that would just
jersey.
be stinky.
He's going to the Rockets.
A Giannis
Yeah.
Warriors
I would
jersey.
love a Giannis throwback Rockets jersey.
That'd be so
well,
tough.
That would be
He can't
sweet.
wear 34.
Yeah, that's
Hakeem.
It's
true.
retired,
Hakeem.
isn't it?
Yeah, so
In the
he will
dream.
not
He'll
be
wear
going to
43 and
Rockets.
honest of Thanasis.
Yeah.
Yes.
He actually
No.
probably would.
That is
He
the
actually
correct.
probably would.
Breaking news: the NASA signs with Rockets on a one-year vet minutes extension. Ryan.
So I got 2 of them. For
Hawk, 2 of them.
Shut up.
And we're off the air.
But it was a fun joke.
And
for
we're
football,
ending
for
the show.
football, I have to go with J.J. Watt. That guy just destroyed offensive linemen. He went.
Were
he
you
was-
are you old enough to have watched him at Wisconsin at all?
I think
I was born in 2006, so his time was
06?
06.
I know.
God,
Jeez
dude.
Louise, bro.
Yeah, April 25th, 2006.
06.
But
be your
I do
father.
remember at least
You
watching
might-
highlights of J.J. Watt. And then for baseball, I'd have to go with Derek Jeter. That guy's been my idol for a while. I actually have a letter from him. I think I mentioned that earlier this year.
I think you have, yeah.
It's in my room.
I want to say you showed us a copy of
Who
it.
fiddled with the
Potentially.
Something
Gonna
like
break the
that.
cord
But then
and keep it up.
for Wisconsin sports, I went with Rogers for the Packers, Ryan Braun with the Brewers, and Malcolm Brogdon for the Bucks.
Malcolm Brogdon.
That guy was
Wait,
a dog
Malcolm Brogdon.
for the Bucks. Growing up,
Malcolm Brogdon made you
dude.
fall in love with basketball?
he did. On the
That
Bucks.
sucks.
You watched him drop like 11 points and a couple rebounds?
Actually, 14,
Rookie of
5,
the year.
and 2.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Brandon Jennings saved my life.
What a stat
That's
line.
like a Chris Pinner intramural basketball style line.
That's a little
He
generous
balled out
for
on
me.
Sunday. I was there.
That's a little generous for me.
14 points.
You're lucky a certain somebody
just
wasn't
go-
on the call for that game.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that guy. I know that guy. What a shot.
Well, we have our first tournament game tonight, so
No, I
Ooh,
like.
best
I
of
might.
luck
I
to
might be
you.
officiating that one.
thank you.
I might like.
Give him
Brock-
all the
just-
calls.
No, him or his brother are not getting any calls.
Greg
Greg.
is not playing
Have you
tonight.
seen the
Why?
way Greg shoots the ball?
He has club
Yes.
basketball.
I have seen how Greg.
Lonzo
shoots.
He's
Ball,
like
dude.
Lonzo.
Greg, I gave Greg a charge the other day. Like he
He did.
had to go the other
Heck
way.
of a ball player, but
Yeah.
what is that jump shot?
All right, back on topic. Mikey.
For me, I'm going with, in my opinion, one of the greatest players ever stepped foot on the gridiron. I'm going Charles Woodson, 2009 Defensive Player of the Year. Also, Heisman Trophy winner before I was even born, so also that. But always love watching him. Pure ball hawk on the field, nothing else.
Did you play football? Were you a
A
footballer?
couple,
You
like
dabbled?
2 years.
You dabbled.
2 years of my life
What
I played
age?
football.
Couldn't handle it?
Like 10 years old.
Oh,
Oh,
He couldn't hang.
could not hang.
Couldn't
Neither
hang.
could I.
The big dog.
Me
played
neither.
flag
I played
football.
one
I
year of
just didn't-
flag, and that was
yeah.
it.
I remember I
the
got
one that
pushed
played
out
football
once
here?
and was like,
Yeah, it
yeah,
was
Mom, I'm
tackle.
going home.
Yeah, Ryan
Wasn't-
was were you a center?
Center.
I was.
Ryan was a
insane.
big boy.
Ryan
I
has
was.
slimmed
Big
down
dog.
considerably, and I respect him
Ryan
for
should
that.
be on an Ozempic ad.
He really should be. That will be the quote of the day. Ryan should be on an Ozempic ad.
Ryan and Jennifer
I can't hear what
Hudson
they're
doing
saying.
Weight Watchers.
Put him on a
What'd you
shake
say?
weights ad.
What did you just say?
God.
I'll have to go back and watch
Context.
this now. I don't even know what you said.
Dude, P90X is gonna. You're their spokesperson
You
now.
are
What are you guys
you
talking
are Ryan from Subway.
All right,
Minus the allegations.
we're not gonna get into the allegations at all today.
Show.
Let's not talk about that.
This is what you watch Hawk Talk on Tuesday.
This is what Hawk Talk is.
What does it become? For my player, mine's gonna be the most corny answer out of all of you guys. Mine is Sam Decker because I grew up in Sheboygan. I grew up literally
Shocker.
watching him play basketball in the same gym. When they won state, I think it was in 2012. I was at almost all of those games, including the one. I doubt any of you guys have seen the clip. He hit like a 30-footer at the Kohl Center to walk it off in the state
I haven't
championship.
seen the clip, but I've heard the story
I have
from
also
you
heard the
like
story.
15 times.
Yeah,
Jamie's
great
checking
story.
this.
I tell it all the
Jamie's
time,
checking this out.
it
Pull
was
it up,
pretty
Jamie.
hype.
Yeah,
It
Jamie,
was
can you pull
a.
that up?
They had
Oh,
lost
actually,
to that
there's-
team by
there's
a hold on, we got the
20
clip.
points
We have the
earlier
clip.
in the
Hold on,
We
season.
got
Yeah,
the clip
clip.
right here, actually.
Well, you guys do.
Yeah.
Can you like
Losers.
turn
Can
the
you, yeah, can you
laptop
flip
around?
the
I will in a
laptop?
second.
Can we put that up on TV?
We could try.
Can they-
Who's up there?
can they
Who's on
do
Jamie, you
graphics
got
right
this?
now?
You got a
So it
monitor
was-
right here.
so-
Look at the three.
So it was a
Working on
right.
monitor.
It was a right side three pointer.
What are we getting play by play?
Yes, it
Yeah.
was.
And then they missed it to go.
He dribbled
Yeah,
up the,
they tried
he
to half
dribbled up
order.
the
Let me
court,
see
went
this.
to the right wing, chucked
It
up
made
the
it on
three
the
and
SC
went in.
top 10 the next day.
Oh, I bet it did.
Yeah, because
This was to walk
this
it off in the
is
state
Samuel
championship.
Decker. Nice.
Chris,
They-
you said you were there.
Yeah, I was there.
Sammy
nice.
I was up in the second deck.
Nice.
I was
One
hitting
of
shots
like
that,
3
every
times
game
I've
in
been
high
to the
school,
Kohl
but-
Center. But I think with that, we're going to move on to another college team, moving away from being in a college arena to another college arena. The Whitewater Warhawk volleyball team, for the first time in my college tenure, is hosting a volleyball regional this weekend. A lot of games coming up. I'm on the call for one of them. Ryan, I believe you're also on the call for one.
On
I'm
Thursday.
not sure if the 3 of you guys are.
I think I'm working the
Potentially.
Friday game. I think I'm
Not yet.
producing.
I might
I'm
be there as a
directing.
fan.
I'm doing something for the Friday game.
I think with my knowledge of volleyball, I'm more valuable as a spectator than a commentator, but we'll see.
I'm not the
Hey,
most
hey.
knowledgeable when it comes to the intricacies of the sport either, but the team does have a matchup against Ohio Wesleyan on Thursday night at 7. Their last time they played against them was in 2018. Ohio Wesleyan also does have a couple common opponents with the Warhawks this year. They played against Hope, who the Warhawks lost to. They played against Hope, who the Warhawks beat. They played them in Puerto Rico, interestingly enough. If I'm looking at the right
Wait,
schedule,
did they
I
win
think I am.
and lose to Hope?
No, this was against North Park. They lost to North Park
Well,
2-3. We beat North Park
not
in
what you
straight
said.
sets,
That's not what you said.
3-0.
That's not what you
My
said.
apologies. They played against Hope, who we also played against. They lost 3-0. We lost to Hope 3-1. Hope is, I believe, number 2 in the country. A very, very good team. They played against Platteville. They lost in 3 sets. We beat Platteville. And I want to say there's one other one in there that we played the same as them. I think it was Transylvania, but I'm not seeing it on here immediately. But, guys, we were the 1 seed coming into this regional. We're the host. We could have 3 games this weekend, potentially the Warhawks could. Let's talk about this one really quickly, though. What are you guys expecting after a huge win this weekend? Ryan, I'll start with you. What are you guys expecting from this match after a huge win this weekend against Oshkosh in the WIAC Championships?
Yeah, I mean, the Warhawks are on a roll right now. In the past, we're 3-0 against them all time, against Wesleyan. And I think we'll get past them pretty easily in 3 to 4 sets. Ohio Wesleyan is 3-6 on the road this season. Not very good on, away from home. But neutral sites, they are 6-2, I did see. But it's
I guess
not
technically this is considered a
Is it
neutral
considered
site,
neutral?
but
Okay.
Neutral.
it's like the tournament for women's basketball last year.
Yeah.
We hosted, but it was
neutral.
Correct.
The crowd was very overwhelmingly pro Whitewater for those games, and you have
I
to
sure
think.
hope so, being
Yeah, it'd
Yeah,
be a problem if
Whitewater.
it wasn't.
And Whitewater fans,
Be a
they turn
problem.
out.
It's not like it's going to be Eau Claire fans showing up
Don
to the Williams
Hernandez
Center.
turns out.
Don Hernandez
Don
turns
and
up
Evan
and turns
Chrisman
out.
will be there.
The Purple Storm will be there.
Purple Storm will be there in full force.
And I kicked my thing.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, I gotta get my
Some
mouse
technical
back where it
difficulties
was.
over here for Laz today. But looking at a couple stats
There it
for
is.
Ohio Wesleyan, only a 166 hitting percentage, not the greatest.
Stinky.
When you look at Whitewater's hitting percentage on the year, it's 291, which is significantly higher. They do hold their opponents to a 128 though, so that's something to note. But Whitewater holds their opponents to 108. So
Obviously.
also for those listening who don't know how hitting percentage works, it's your total kills minus your errors divided by your total attacks. So Ohio Wesleyan is 1,237 kills, 573 errors, divided by 4,001, which equals out to .166.
Everybody knows how it works. Everybody
Obviously.
knows
Yeah, I
the
mean,
equation.
thanks for telling the people at home.
Yeah.
But obviously we all did.
I
Yeah,
will
I
admit,
did
I did not
that.
know coming into this year. I did not know how
You know
that
what? If you're
works.
gonna
Wow.
admit it, I will as well. I had no idea
I
what
will,
those
I will
numbers
third.
meant.
I will third that.
Okay,
I
sweet.
don't know what you guys are talking about. This is like
It's a foreign
pretty
language.
basic stuff.
But Mikey, what are your thoughts on this matchup this weekend?
Well, I don't know if you guys know, Ohio Wesleyan did end up winning their conference championship, so it is a battle of conference champions. But one thing I realized is that Ohio Wesleyan is 11 and 10 going against non-conference opponents, so essentially they seem like conference merchants from the looks of it. But ended up winning their conference. That's how they ended up getting into the tournament and just grabbing a very low seed. It's a very, I don't want to say it's a bad conference, but it's not exactly a great conference. It's pretty subpar. But when it comes down to it, they don't really have a whole lot of star power. They're somewhat hot going into this. They've won 4 of the last 5. Well, Whitewater has won their last 10, 9 of them being sweeps. So, I mean, Ohio Wesleyan, on paper, does not stand a chance. They really only have one player that you could consider their star, which would be Natalie Dyball, averaging 4 points a set and 343 kills a set. Along with that, Lily Bakina for OWU has been efficient with sharing the rock, 7.83 assists per set. But UW Whitewater, of course, Elena Jansky, Jenna Weinfurt, they have been easily the offensive stars for the team with 486 points per set and 422 kills per set for Elena Jansky, and Weinfurt putting up 443 points per set. So ultimately, I mean, it's just a matter of just holding Dyball down and just defending every kill attempt that she brings in. So ultimately, it should be a Whitewater just blowing them out, but anything's possible.
I
Why
think
not-
Whitewater. Oh,
Go ahead, Ryan.
I was gonna say Whitewater has excelled on defense this year, and that's mainly been a part of Abby Dix. She's been amazing up at the net with her blocks, and she's been a defensive anchor for the Whitewater.
Well, not
Warriors.
only that, you got Jaden Evans in the back. Elena Jansky plays quite a bit of defense, too, back there.
Yeah.
This Warhawk team, Hannah Proctor is also incredible up at the net. It's just they have quite the force up front. Aubrey Cruz is She's, I think, the unsung hero of this team. I know we talk about her a lot here, but she might not necessarily have the stats in terms of kills and total points, but her assist numbers are just off the charts, and a lot of teams have a bit more distribution when it comes to that. Whitewater runs through Aubrey Cruz on offense.
It's a good way to put it.
But yeah, looking at this
It's the only way to
matchup,
put it.
yeah, pretty
the
much.
only
I mean,
way
I
to
guess
put
it's one way you can
Yeah, you
put
said
it.
it.
It is one of the ways to put it for sure. But looking at this Ohio Wesleyan team, not the greatest hitting percentage on the year, obviously. But yeah, you said Lily Bikina. Is that how you said it?
Sure.
Yeah, I think
We'll
so.
go with that. 830 assists. That's pretty solid as well. She's sort of their Aubrey Cruz from the looks of it. But this Whitewater team just has so much firepower on it. This might be the best team I've seen since I got here as a freshman, and we've had some really darn good teams. Do either of you two, Colin or Laz, have any thoughts?
You want to go? I'll go.
I'll go.
I'll go after.
I think people from Wesleyan, Ohio, probably couldn't even tell you where Wesleyan, Ohio is, if that's even a real place.
I don't-
16
I'll
and
tell you,
12
they're shaking
overall.
in their boots right now.
They absolutely are.
They're shaking in their boots.
They're just glad they made it here.
Their timbers are shivered. And
They're like, hey,
Yeah.
we're our conference champions.
Delaware, Ohio
Yes.
is where this
Yeah.
is located.
How is your city named after a state?
Yeah,
Come on.
it's like Paris, Tennessee.
It's like Miami, Ohio.
I
Like,
want to
where we
say
go.
in Wisconsin, fun fact, there's a, it's located just outside Columbus, by the way. There's a city named, I think it's Wyoming in the, I forget. There's like a, it's like a city and a county in the state of Wisconsin. It's like Wyoming and Iowa County in the state of Wisconsin
Yeah,
or something
how
like that.
original.
There's
You
an,
know,
there's an Oregon,
how
Wisconsin
original.
too.
That is true.
And I bet their volleyball team is better than Ohio Wesleyan. 16 and 12 overall, 3 and 6 on the road, as Ryan mentioned. Yeah, they're just happy that they got here. They're going to walk away and say, hey, we won our conference championship. Good job. But after that, we've got either Eau Claire, who we swept when we played them, or Northwestern St. Paul.
Who's
who
given
beat
us
us.
headaches in the
They
past.
are.
Beat
We
us
beat
last
them
year.
this year 3-0
Last
early
year,
in the season,
they ended
but,
our season.
and the year before that as well.
So
They've ended our season. They're one of
Bad
few
blood.
teams that has a winning record against Whitewater.
these ladies are going to be motivated going into that game, assuming it happens. They're going to be fired up. They want some revenge. Lost them 2 years in a row. It's like, there I say it, and I know you guys are going to hate me for saying this.
Here we
Lakers,
go.
Nuggets. If they met again this year, I know those boys would be fired
I
up
just got chills.
versus a team.
Well, the man who shall not be named would go off.
Laz got
Okay, well, you
goosebumps.
didn't have to say that. We're talking about volleyball.
We're
You
talking
brought
about
it up.
the team
I was
as
just
a
making
whole.
an
You brought it
aside
up,
here.
Colin.
I was just
I'm
making
just
an
saying.
You did
aside
bring
here.
it up.
I was making a comparison. We didn't have to get into the specifics.
Laz over there has
but
goosebumps right now.
I
thinking
genuinely
about
do.
it.
You can see him.
when you when you play a team that's beat you 2 years in a row, and you're playing volleyball like these ladies are playing volleyball, they're fired up, they're ready to go, and
9-game win streak.
It's a better team.
I predict, yeah, they're a better team.
It's a better
like
team.
Chris said, in multiple years than he's seen, than I've seen, and I think they're going to make a deep run here.
Laz, any other thoughts?
Yeah, we'll see you guys in Salem, Virginia for the NCAA championship. That's
We-
for sure.
Fun fact, this region has this little group of 8 up here at the top has 3 WIAC teams with Whitewater, Eau Claire, and Platteville. And I believe there's 5 total. 5 of the 8 teams from the conference made it to the NCAA tournament. That just shows how dominant the conference is.
Sloshkosh couldn't make it in after we beat them.
They
in the
definitely,
WIAC
they're in
championship.
here.
They are.
They're in here.
I mean,
They're in the
we
bottom
just-
section.
We just
They're
swept
in.
number
They're just in a
6
different
out.
region.
Well,
Just swept number
Big whoop.
6 out.
Stevens Point also made it.
Handled
Oshkosh is playing Otterbein.
handled the what?
No, they're playing Marymount.
Wait, never mind. I'm sorry.
Fool.
I'm sorry.
You fool.
They're playing Marymount, yeah,
What
obviously.
you talking about, Willis?
From Virginia.
I think Platteville Edgewood's gonna be a pretty good game too.
Yeah, we'll see.
Edgewood's won their last 12 matchups.
When Platteville's also, they're a very good team too. They beat Oshkosh earlier in the year. Like, we took care of them in our first matchup with them, but that doesn't really say much. I mean, we were at home. I mean, we will still be at home again in this tournament, but anything can happen when you have 2 top 25 teams facing off.
Well, Northwestern St. Paul, they have 21 sweeps out of their 24 wins this season.
Wow.
And they're on a 9-game win streak. 8 of those are sweeps as well. And they've only lost 1 set in their 9 matches.
One something to note, I don't think the UMAC conference in which they come from is nearly as strong as, say, the WIAC conference, but that's still a really impressive run nonetheless.
Playoffs are all about momentum.
I mean,
For
we've
sure.
only
Any
lost
sport.
2 sets in the last 10 games.
UW
Every other
Whitewater,
game has been
I mean, you
an
Like, we've been
absolute
dominant,
sweep,
too.
and we've been playing not necessarily all ranked teams, I guess, but
We've faced
Two
a lot
ranked
of
teams.
a lot of really solid teams this season.
Right.
We'll just put it that way.
right.
I mean,
and
I'll-
I think going into this Wesleyan game, wipe your nose at it.
I mean,
Just-
UW
That's a
Whitewater
warm-up game.
does have a 10-game win streak, and I think they've lost only 2 sets, and both of them were to Oshkosh in the
Yep,
WIAC championship.
that is correct.
So,
That is correct.
With that, I think we're going to move on to our second topic, or our second official topic. It should be a good one this Thursday, and if they win, they play again Friday night, most likely at 7 o'clock. Tune into UWW-TV for the coverage of the entire regional. We'll have games starting at 11:30 on Thursday, running all the way through the night, and then on Friday there will be 2. Then on Saturday, the regional final will take place. But with that, we're going to move into our third topic of today. I titled it Air Raid, but we're going to talk about both Badger basketball and football because they both had very different experiences this weekend. Football lost a nail-biter to number 1 ranked Oregon, 16-13. And then basketball took down number 9 Arizona. I believe the score is 103-88.
Correct.
yes, indeed.
And John Tanji had a huge game in that, scoring over 40 points. And in the fallout of the football game, Phil Longo, the offensive coordinator, who a lot of people have been frustrated with this year for, running the air raid without the raid or the air part, has been fired officially. And we have a lot of questions to answer before we go into these last few weeks of the season. Laz, you were at the basketball game onDay. We'll start with that. Or you were in Madison for the game.
Yeah, I was.
You
gonna
were in
say
Madison.
that
How
we
was
cannot
the?
be spreading this misinformation? I was not at the game, but I
we
did
doing? What are we
watch.
doing here?
You
Come
were
on.
in the city in which it took place. How was the atmosphere in town that day?
Absolutely bleeping electric. It was insane. It was awesome. I did not realize. I mean, I knew the Badgers were, an above-average basketball team. But putting up 100 on Arizona is kind of crazy, especially, I mean, they were at home, and there were people wearing Arizona jerseys there, and I did witness things being thrown at them. I myself did not partake in the throwing of things.
For legal reasons.
Allegedly.
For legal,
Right.
reasons-
Allegedly.
for legal
Right.
reasons, he was not one of the
I did
ones
not
who
want to get fired
things.
from Hawk Talk.
You're still here.
I have an
You're
image.
getting
I have an
paid?
image to uphold when I'm out in public.
You guys are getting
You guys are
paid?
getting paid?
Yeah, that's news to me.
But I mean, it was just it was
It's a great movie.
it was a really fun game to watch. I mean, it was pretty back and forth there for a while, but there was just no answer for the Badgers.
My question
Putting up
is,
100.
something I learned on Friday night was that Caleb Love still plays college basketball. I thought he was done.
Yeah, I've been hearing that name for a while now.
Yeah, I want to say he's one of those unks at this point that just
Unk
like
status.
if you guys know who
Straight
Hunter
unk 'em.
Dickinson is, like
Yeah.
24 years
Yeah.
old and still playing in the NCAA, like dude, get a job.
Don't you have a degree already? Come on, get out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Caleb Love's only been he's been here since 2020. His first year was 2020.
That's 5 years, I think.
That's not that long.
Super
for
senior.
Yeah.
Super senior.
He had.
It's not
What
really.
were you doing in 2020?
You
Uh,
were
it
like
was
5
it
years
was,
old.
No, I was going into my freshman year of high school actually.
In
Oh my
2020,
In
you were.
Oh my
2020.
2020, I was
Wow.
playing Warzone.
Dude, I was
I
graduating.
was also
from
playing
high school.
Warzone in 2020.
2020.
I,
sitting at home
I
playing
graduated in
Warzone.
19.
Fortnite time.
The
for me.
geezer versus the baby over
Yeah,
here.
for real.
The boy.
We got Unk versus
The young
the
buck.
Versus
The
nephew.
youngin.
yeah, we got
Versus
Unk
the
versus
newborn.
nephew.
Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something.
Day.
That's when Jules became a thing.
And we're off the air. All right, Colin.
All right, let's get back to reality here. Back to Badger basketball. Like Laz said, it's a bit of a shocker for all us Wisconsin fans witnessing a Wisconsin sports team put up a dominating win versus a good team. It's like unheard of.
More or less at this point.
And yeah, John Tanji, like you said, 22.6 points a game.
Won 22 free throws, and he made 21 of them. That in itself, not only getting to the line that many times, but being able to convert that many times.
He shot.
I'm used to watching Giannis go 11 for 22.
He's attempted 24 three-pointers in 5 games. Cool, whatever. He's made half of them. 50% at that many attempts. That's just elite shooting, elite scoring. He's NBA bound for sure.
That's not that many if you really.
5 attempts a game. Let's see you do it, Laz.
Oh,
I'll
I want to
give
see
you
you.
5
I want to see you make
attempts.
A3.
I'll give you 5 attempts, that's for sure.
Let's see the form.
Let's see it,
Let's
last.
see it,
You
last.
want the pump fake with it? as
I'll give you a
well?
pass. I'll give you a pass.
All right.
That's butter.
Solid.
Doesn't look too
Hand in
bad.
a cookie
Butter.
jar. I like it.
It's
but-
butter.
Yeah.
But
Thank you.
Nothing
We
but
haven't
that.
seen it versus D1 college opponents, but
Yeah, and there's
Correct.
no need to.
John Blackwell,
There's no need to.
16.2 points a game. This team overall is shooting 39% from three, 88% from the free throw line, just scorching on offense, and also 23 free throw attempts per game. So not only are they shooting it good, but they're getting to the line a lot and making those shots. And it's something we talked about, Chris, when we were calling that Whitewater women's game. They got to the line a good amount, but they weren't really hitting them at a high clip. So it doesn't matter if you can get to the line 30 times if you only make 15 of them. But they're getting the shots up and they're making them. Just an explosive offense so far, averaging 88 points a game. A little concerning when you can barely beat a 500 team like UT Rio Grande Valley.
That was
Who
ridiculous.
gave Creighton a run, I do
That
want to
was
say.
ridiculous.
So maybe better than their record shows, but when you play a almost unknown team like that, after dominating a ranked team, you expect more domination. So I just hope they're not like the rest of Wisconsin sports where they just play to their competition. But 5-0, good start.
I do want to give a shout out to John Blackwell really quickly, though, because he's been playing incredible. He's pretty much the reason they won the game last night against UT Rio Grande, or Rio Grande, however you say it.
Correct me if I'm
Probably
wrong.
around
They were in the March Madness tournament last year, correct? Maybe
Were
it was
they?
the year before. I don't know.
I don't know.
remember
There's
that.
64 teams in the
Jamie's
tournament.
on it.
I don't remember
pull it
the
up,
name
maybe.
off the top of
Okay.
my head, but they're not terrible.
I was very familiar with their name. I heard it, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I've heard of them. What is that? Is that a screwdriver? What do you?
It's vitamin C.
Oh,
Oh, they were ineligible
Sick
last
boy.
year because of the transition from D2.
maybe that's where
Interesting.
I know them from.
So recently, only their second season as a D1 team,
I'm
and they're already
fairly certain.
keeping up with the Badgers. That's
Wow.
good for them.
The
But
progress is just insane.
regardless, take this L. Back to Rio with you.
Yeah, John Tanji, 10 of 10 from the line again yesterday. John Blackwell, 30 points, 7 rebounds in 39 minutes, which means he played almost the entire game. 11 of 18 from the field. That's pretty impressive. Ryan, any thoughts on the basketball team so far?
Yeah, I mean, just you guys have mentioned both Johns at the guard spot, but they both are doing very well. We got Tanji from a short season at Mizzou, did an injury last year, but he had an even better 22-23 season at Colorado State, where he averaged 14.6, 4.7, and 1.3 per game. This season, he's already boosted those numbers, like Colin mentioned, 22.6 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 1.6 assists. And I know you mentioned John Blackwell as well. He dropped 30 last night, but the Badgers recently got ranked 19, and when you, like you guys mentioned, when you see a team who beat a higher-ranked opponent, I mean, a win's a win in NCAA basketball, but it's a little concerning. We just got to see how we play against UCF on Friday, who is 3-0 at 4 p.m. And this is the first time that Badger players have gone back-to-back 30-plus points since 2005 to 2006 season.
Wow, not even in the Frank Kaminsky, Sam Decker, Bronson Koenig, Nigel Hayes
Correct.
era.
Yeah,
That was more of
never-
a team ball back then.
Never a back-to-back 30-point game by two Badgers, but they're on a roll right now. It's good to see leaders at like each position. I mean, we got Crowell, he's down low, and we have Tanji up top. And we just have a good mix of guys who have been there before, with Kleshmet, Blackwell, Crowell, Winters, Gilmore, and McGee, all significant starters from last year that are returning. Plus, you add Tanji to the mix, and the Badgers are just rolling. But we'll see how they play Friday night.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a test for sure. Mikey, any other thoughts?
John Tanji's who AJ Storr wanted to be last year. That's all I got.
Who AJ Storr thought he was.
Yeah, essentially. But with the game, we already know it's known that Arizona doesn't really have the best defense in the world. They're not a great defensive team, so you really do have to rely on a high-scoring offense, which Wisconsin was able to put up thanks to a lot of it thanks to John Tanji. The bench also played how they needed to. Xavier Amos, Jack Janicki, Kamari McGee all put up 23 combined points. So overall, consistent, efficient, all around for the game. Best offense I've definitely seen them play in a while. Just taking advantage of the subpar Arizona defense.
Yeah, teams that like to play up tempo, Alabama's kind of the same way in basketball, where it's like you're gonna score 85 against them, but they're gonna score 86. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right, but especially letting up 100. Don't mind my wins account photo.
I saw that picture.
I understand I was blonde.
I remember that.
Letting up 100 against the Badgers, who are just not. I mean, they're 5-0, sure, but they're
Not impressive
Right,
necessarily to
exactly.
start the year.
and just letting one single one single person put up 40 on you as a top 10 team in the nation is kind of stinky, kind of worrisome for all
little
Arizona fans.
I can't say I disagree with you. However, we're going to have to
Excuse
move
you.
on to football just to keep it moving a little bit.
Excuse yourself.
Wait, I just burped.
You
You
did belch.
did, yeah.
You indeed
I
belched.
apologize.
Is that the... Wait. He's like, wait a minute.
Actually, no, I
What have I done?
No, I cleared my throat.
Where did all this flatulence
I cleared
come
my
from?
throat. I'm a little
did
under
I
the
just-
weather today.
No.
Is that the first belch in Hawk Talk history?
That was not a belch. That was a
That was a-
clearing
that
of
was
the throat.
something.
There was some gas involved.
It was definitely something. But with that, we're going to move on to something else with Phil Longo's firing on Sunday, which We're-
Sucks.
the first question I want to ask, were you guys surprised by it, yes or no?
No.
No.
I think it should have been Tressel that got the boot.
Really? After
Yes.
pretty much a masterful game plan against Oregon?
You call masterful letting up, let's see, 136 rushing yards against Oregon.
Well, this is the number
329
one
against
team in the
Iowa.
country.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
come on.
16
Caleb
points
Johnson's
against
one of the best
the
running backs in football.
Oregon.
Hold on.
Football.
329 rushing yards against Iowa and 173 against Penn
freak
State.
out. Just stop
The
touching
rush
me.
defense has not been good this year.
Well, I can't disagree with that. I think their entire thing is that they want to take away the pass, though, because
Correct, but I think they both
they
should
do
be
better against teams that pass the ball more. I feel like against teams that are more run oriented, they struggle, but against teams where they try and air it out a bit more, that's where they really struggle. And maybe because the offense is so inept, they think they're better than they are.
Well, we stopped the pass against Oregon. We only allowed 218 to Dylan Gabriel and one touchdown, or no touchdowns and interception from him as well. So
My question is Braden Locke. Really
Oof.
quickly.
That was clearing your throat.
he's what Laz likes to
Definitely.
say, stinky.
The other thing,
was not.
that was a belch.
I'm gonna debate you on this, but
You have to
Okay.
listen
You
back
didn't even
to
know
this.
what happened.
Wait a minute.
it took me a second to gather my thoughts.
Wait, I burped?
Allegedly. But Braden Locke in that game, 12 for 28, 96 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. And most of those 96 yards were on one play, if I remember right. He hit a deep ball. It feels like every game he has one deep ball where it's like, that's the talent right there. It's right there. And then it just completely flips the rest of the game. Does anyone have any thoughts on him? Just other than that, he's not quite the best.
I just don't
feel
think
it.
Wisconsin was ready for the air raid
Yeah,
offense.
no, I agree. I mean, you have an established offensive coordinator like Phil Longo, who has had talent before and has made it work.
Drake May.
Drake
Yep.
May. He had guys like DK Metcalf and AJ Brown at Ole Miss. Multiple teams he's gone to and taken that air raid system and made it a success. Like Ryan said, I don't think the Badgers were ready for it. I don't think it was a good fit. You know, when you bring in a guy like that, everybody's like, oh, we got a good offensive coordinator coming in. We're going to be an air raid team. Now we're going to be so good. But we just didn't have the personnel for him. And you could have given it more time. 2 seasons, obviously, in college football.
I was going to say, because a lot of the guys that he's still working with right now are like Paul Chris guys. Mm-hmm. Especially on like the offensive line. Now, a lot of these other guys are transfers in from other schools, but it's like, these aren't like the true fickle recruits. These are like 1-year stopcaps, more or less.
You think they stick
Yeah.
with the air raid offense then? Now that Longo's gone?
I feel like they got to go back to a blend, not necessarily like pound the rock like what Whitewater likes to do or what the Badgers used to do.
But a mix.
Yeah, kind of a healthy medium between the two, where it's like
Happy schmedium.
they do air it out a little bit, but they utilize the ground game, because the thing about the air raid is that it was never really an air raid.
No, it wasn't.
Like, I kept sitting here waiting around for these 2 years, like, oh, when's the air raid gonna come? And it just never did.
I mean, you could barely have a pass-heavy attack with Braden Locke, let alone when he gets injured. And you got the backup coming in. You can't really be an air raid offense with a backup quarterback.
And I know Tanner Mordecai a year ago might not have been the best quarterback, but when he was at SMU, he was a lot better than what he was at Madison a year ago. And then obviously what happened to Tyler Van Dyke early in the season was kind of unfortunate, but injuries happen. And next man up, and Braden Locke, with the exception to that Purdue game and maybe the Rutgers game, hasn't been up to the task.
No.
Not at all.
Well, SMU is also just an easier conference.
But you
Before
would
they
think
were,
as a
yeah.
fifth-year senior, some of that skill would transfer over.
Yeah.
But then there's also, you bring up questions about, like, last year, the running back room, like, Braylon Allen had some struggles. The offensive line wasn't great. And the receivers, I feel like it's fair to question them a little bit, too, at times.
I guess, but it's like the ACC, not a bad conference, not a horrible conference, but it's not the Big Ten.
It's not the Big Ten.
It's
The Big
not all
Ten. I guess that's a different debate. Is the Big Ten better than the SEC at this
No.
point?
No.
God, no.
The SEC?
ACC,
Yes.
yes.
Better than the ACC, sure.
Second
By
best
SEC?
college football.
No.
We're talking Bama. We're talking
talking
Georgia.
We're
Come
talking
on.
pure.
A lot of those
football.
teams are down this year, though.
pure Southern
A
football.
lot of them are up.
I would say Texas is up, but who else is up, realistically?
Didn't Bama blow out Wisconsin this season?
Yes.
Don't talk about that.
They absolutely did.
Yeah,
that's
but
what I-
that's
that's
pretty
what I
much
thought.
the last good game. That and Georgia were they've struggled in some of
And
their other
Oregon's
games
been
this
in the
year.
Big Ten for like 2 weeks. So
Yeah, that's true.
we got to give them more time.
But you also got Ohio State, Penn State, and
True.
Michigan when they decide to play actual football and not.
Once in a blue moon.
Yeah,
I mean, Wisconsin they just got blown out by Iowa, so it's like
Iowa's decent this year though for the most
I
part.
think the consensus is that we suck.
yeah.
More
And they were
Oh,
looking
yeah.
for they were
Oh,
looking for somebody to blame.
subpar.
Phil Longo's going to go to a better team and be a great offensive coordinator, and all the Badgers fans are going to be like, "Why couldn't you do that with us?" It's because we didn't give him enough time
Or talent.
Yeah, time or talent. He didn't have the personnel to do what he wanted to do, and they're just looking for somebody to blame. I don't know if that was the right move, but they definitely had to change something.
Well, our fans were sitting here after we had pulled off those wins against Rutgers, Northwestern, and Purdue, and they're like, rank us. I'm like, what have we done to deserve to even get a shout?
Nothing.
And then we go out and play Penn State tough for a half. We get blown out by Iowa. And then we play Oregon tough. But, at the
Yeah.
end of the day, if you truly want to.
Raise the banner.
Yeah.
We kept up with the number 1 team in the nation.
Yeah,
Raise
I
the
mean,
banner.
it was fun watching that game. But it's like. Then there's fans of ours that are like, this is more agonizing than X loss. I'm like, is it really, though?
I mean, I felt good about it. I was like, that was an entertaining game.
That's what I said. I'm like, at the end of the day,
you
we
get an
kept
entertaining
up
game
with
out
a
of
great
Badger
team.
football, I'll take it.
The only thing that kind of upset me about it was that we could have easily won that game, but we just kept shooting ourselves in the foot late in the game, over and
Pretty
over.
much.
Welcome
That's
to
been-
Wisconsin
like-
sports, Mike.
Yep.
Yeah.
It almost felt like watching a Whitewater game at times
Yeah.
a little bit.
But like that play on like the 4-yard line, Brainlock threw it into the end zone for a touchdown. Our lineman was like practically at the goal line for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
That
So-
and that,
And then what?
I would say that chop block call was a little bit questionable too.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say that there's any conspiracy here, but even the TV announcers are like, there's not much here.
Yeah, that right there was a bull crap.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
call that.
What's the status on Hunter Wooler? I haven't seen.
I
anything
haven't
on
seen
it.
anything.
I've seen
College
anything on
doesn't
Hunter
put
Wooler.
out injury reports as much as pro
What's he do?
sports does. He's
he
one
like
of
an
the
accountant or
better
something?
defensive players.
Nothing.
I want to say he's a safety.
So like an
Yeah, he
insurance
is.
agent or
Strong
something.
Team's
safety.
custodial staff.
Every game, whenever they bring him up, they talk about how much he loves being a Wisconsin Badger,
Yeah.
how he grew up rooting for the Badgers and all that
I wonder
jazz.
how he feels about that now.
Yeah,
I mean, he's one of the best defensive players on the team. So,
him and Ricardo Holman.
yep.
What's that guy's name? He's a defensive lineman. I hear Elijah Hill's name doing
Darryl
good things a lot
Peterson.
too.
I don't know.
Stupley Malikson.
Paulie Parcheesi.
Exactly.
Paulie
Paulie.
Parcheesi.
Do you guys have
Not
any?
on.
Do you guys have any other thoughts about Badger football before we move on?
Just stinky.
Stinks.
They
yeah,
still have
stinks.
to win one more game against either Nebraska or Minnesota, who are both not exactly both up and down to say the least this year.
I think we were talking about this last week, but I'd almost be happier if they ended their bowl streak just so they could have like a wake-up call.
I would
Be like,
agree.
"Hey, let's-
You would think that they should have had one already, but
let's-
it kind of
let's get
feels.
something going, We got to switch
Figure
it
it
up.
out.
How do you guys feel about Fickle really quickly before we move on? Do you think he makes it another year if we lose both
Get
of
him
these
out
games?
of here too.
I don't think.
Slate.
No,
I still
I
think
think
it's a little too
I
early.
think
Clean.
he's a good head coach,
Slate.
personally.
Sell the team.
Sell the team.
I'm just
Team.
questioning his coordinator hires a little bit.
Yes, that
Sell
too.
the goalposts. Throw them in
I
the
think
lake
Tressel
anyways.
should be gone.
Right into Lake Mendota.
Yep.
But I think with that, we're going to move on to our third official topic of today, chasing history. The Cavs right now, moving over to some NBA, are 15-0 at the time of this recording. They need to win, I believe, 10 more games to surpass the Warriors.
Yep.
Yep.
Correct.
Yes.
Didn't the Lakers start 33-0 one year? Am I wrong?
No,
about
they
that?
had a 33-game
It was a
win
win
streak.
streak, but it was
33
between,
game
it
win
was
streak,
between
okay.
seasons. So.
But the Cavs right now are 15-0. The Bucks, I believe, are 5-9.
Yes.
The Warriors are surprising a lot of people, and the Lakers are hot right now. So let's talk about the
Surprising
Cavs
nobody.
first a little bit. Guys, do you think this continues on for them? Yes or no? Laz,
do.
I'll start with you.
I do. They have a lot of talent on that team, young core. Honestly, at this point, they're just.
They play Boston today.
I know
They
they
do.
do.
So if they
That's a
get through
big
that,
game. It's a
then they
big
play
game.
New Orleans and Toronto. Toronto's probably a win.
I understand Boston's only lost 11 games, but in a lot of their games, it's extremely close. I mean, it took a
They escaped
buzzer beater.
Milwaukee
It
twice.
took a buzzer beater by Jason Tatum, who didn't do squat that game to beat the Raptors. They blew out the Nets, no surprise there. They just lost to the Hawks, barely beat the Bucks, barely beat the Nets again. I mean, they're just not like, yeah, they're winning games, but at the same time, it's like against these crappy teams, I sure hope you're beating them as the defending champions.
Yeah, I mean, they should be taking care of business. This game tonight is also part of the NBA Cup or in-season tournament as well, so it has a bit more stakes to it that way as well.
Yeah.
Right, I agree. But I think the Cavs they'll keep going because at this point they're like, what are we gonna?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know.
I
Dude,
don't know
Mikey
what
keeps
happened.
like talking my ear off right now.
Are we going to have to mute Mike 5 again?
I think we should.
I think you might have to like rip out his vocal cords or something.
I think we'll pass on
But he
that.
can't just do that.
He can't be quiet.
I mean, if he says the Mets are going to win a series
Just do like
again,
a
then
classic fourth grade English teacher. Like, I'll wait.
Yeah. I'm just standing in this red circle. And
I'll wait.
this
Yeah,
time the
stop
moment of
talking.
silence will actually be 10 seconds.
Now everybody in the class has to wait.
Yeah.
Turn the lights off until everyone's quiet.
Punish the whole class and be like, "Yep, blame Mikey.
Blame Michael.
it's
Don't
Mike.
you guys
me.
can thank
Don't
Michael
blame
when
me.
I leave.
Blame Michael Peterson.
it's Michael Peterson.
Michael Peterson.
Your mother will be hearing about this.
Bring
Parent
this note
teacher
home.
conferences
I want
are
it
gonna
brought
be
back
rough.
Signed. That has happened. That's unfortunately
Oh,
happened.
when they make you call your mom in front of the class.
Oh, man.
That's
that's the
never
worst.
happened.
That happened
for
to me. Fourth grade. Like, why do you need to punish a fourth grader like that?
Why at
Colin, what did you
50,
do?
I'll
50
tell you
years of age?
after.
Why at 50 years of
So-
age do you wake up
so
and
it
just
is
like
so
expect
unbelievably
beef
stupid.
with a 10-year-old?
Yeah.
I'm 10 years old, dude.
I made a funny joke that the teacher didn't think was as funny.
I'm
as
sure
me.
it was hilarious.
And my
too.
classmates agree that it was very funny. Anyway, I was talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Back on topic. It feels like
Real
we've
quick,
been
I did not get to go on our 8th grade field trip.
Oof.
I was not allowed.
That's a bummer.
story time after the show
Crash
today.
out. All right, 15-0. The offense obviously not a problem. They're averaging like 100.
A lot of points.
20 points a game.
More
I
points
mean,
than the other
they've
team.
put up over 130 points like 3 times in the last 5 games, which is insane. But the defense is a little concerning. They're also almost giving up like 115 points a game. You give up 114 to the Hornets, 126 to the Bulls. I know Zach LaVine is playing great this year, but still, it's the Bulls. And just,
Stay on the Bulls for.
I think if they can make it past the Celtics tonight, yeah, they keep it going. Because let's look after that. Pelicans, Raptors, Hawks, and then the Celtics again. So I don't think they can beat Boston twice. I don't think they're going to break Golden State's record. But obviously,
Real
15-0.
quickly, shameless plug here. Who beat Boston that year?
Where are you guys at in the standings right now?
Yeah,
Chris,
Seamus-
Chris,
Oh,
we're talking about
You guys are in a
2016.
playing team right now,
Chris,
Chris?
2016,
You're
almost a
12th.
decade
You're
ago.
12th.
Yeah, Chris. Don't.
Yeah, Ryan Halato was still in the womb at that point.
What year are we
Talking about
talking?
2016. for it.
2016.
Your birth year.
2016. I remember that year.
Ryan was probably
No, you
still
don't.
playing flag football at the time.
Were you
I was-
10?
You were getting red too.
Yeah,
you
I was
were, it was
10.
probably
His-
nap
Oh
time.
my
Goodnight
It was-
Moon was
it
still
was-
a part
I
of
had
the
my learner's
vocabulary.
permit.
Your baby
Fourth,
teeth
fourth
were still
grade,
falling out.
fourth grade into 5th grade was 2016.
I was watching, crying as LeBron James brought home a championship to Cleveland.
I was driving around with my parents.
That's crazy. I was 12.
I think I
I
was
was
13.
15.
I was 13 at that
makes
time.
sense.
Yeah,
But
does
yeah,
make sense.
Cavs are great. Just something about this team, you know, as John Gruden would put it, it's got me feeling real nicey.
I will say, I believe Kenny Atkinson is their head coach.
Yeah.
So much better than JB Bickerstaff.
First year head coach going 15-0. I mean, hats
What a
off.
start.
We saw when
Hang
they
the
had
banner.
Ty Lue as their first year head coach, they won a championship. So, but I think it's a lot different from those old Cavs teams with LeBron. Because, yeah, you have your superstar, Donovan Mitchell, but you also have such a good supporting cast around him.
And
The
it's
bench
not
is
just
great.
Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
It's like there's a fleshed out team there.
Zajunas Ilgauskas.
Oh, Ilgauskas, Anderson Varejao.
Antoine Jameson.
Pretty sure.
Anthony Bennett.
Pretty sure Ilgauskas is the only player in the NBA he's played the most amount of games with LeBron James in his career.
I believe it.
Well, he
it's
followed
the
him to
most-
Miami
He
for a
did.
year too.
Yeah.
It's so weird seeing Ilgauskas in a Heat jersey.
It really
Doesn't look
is.
right.
He didn't play much.
No, but yeah, I think the Cavs keep it going. I think they'll end up being the first seed in the East, and I think we'll see them versus the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals, and it'll be like the Chiefs in the NFL, where it's a really close series, but then some questionable calls go the Celtics' way because that's what the
Shocker.
NBA wants to happen, and the Celtics will be right back in the finals. Looking at the rest of the East, Magic, cool, you're young, you're good, whatever. Knicks, you have been good, but you're gonna lose in the
Cat
second round.
is playing incredible
The
this
Hawks
year.
cannot fool me with this 5th seed. They will be in the play-in.
They're 7-8, dude. The East just sucks.
East sucks.
East is
So
awful.
Hibachi meat.
I saw this ESPN
Hibachi
stat.
cooked.
I saw this ESPN stat. There's a 60% chance it's going to be Cavs Celtics in Eastern Conference Finals, and I'd say that's even too low. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't see any of these teams. making
You're
it out of the
forgetting
second
about
round.
a certain team,
Who?
Do not say
This
the
dude
Milwaukee
says
the
the
Bucks.
Bucks.
Indiana
Oh.
Pacers.
What a
6 and
bout,
8?
dude. Tyrese
Tyrese
Halliburton.
Halliburton.
is
I haven't seen a single
having-
Tyrese Halliburton
Yeah.
highlight all season.
Tyrese
He's having a
inconsistent
disaster
Halliburton?
class.
Oh, my
season.
roommate watches every single Pacers game. So
I feel
Eric?
bad for him.
Eric, yes.
He's one of
Wow,
4
I didn't
people
know
in
he
the
was
world that
avid.
does.
If
Watch
that
the
man.
Pacers
The,
games.
the Bucks absolutely cooked. Hibachi meat. Please fire.
No.
I can't believe Doc Rivers is still a head coach in the NBA.
You know what the
That's
real
shocking.
issue is, Mr. Pockets.
Yeah, Darvin Ham sandwich.
You know, I heard that Giannis and him got into a verbal disagreement
I
after
hope
one of their games.
Giannis gets into a little more than a verbal disagreement.
Darvin
with him.
Ham is going to be coaching Boys and Girls Club next year.
Yeah.
And probably getting fired from
To see him
that too.
coaching at the local YMCA.
Yeah,
team.
hands still in pockets.
They do a better job with my high school basketball coach, who was also a math teacher and did not get paid to coach the team. Thus, did not care.
Fair enough. Ryan?
I don't really want to skip over the Magic right now because they're with Paulo and they're 9
I love
6, which they're
He's not
It's
even
pretty
playing.
sad.
Paulo's
They're
injured
still
until I
fun.
think around Christmas time.
Yeah, it's what
They're
I
not
just
ready
said,
for
is
a
they're
finals
without
run
him.
yet.
Oh, you
They're
watch out.
I'm
Paulo
watching.
was incredible in his first few games this year.
He's been amazing, but the East has not been amazing. 4
No.
teams only over 500. And then outside the top 4, the whole East just really disappointing. The Sixers and Bucks especially. Sixers are 2-1. Bucks are 5-9. The only bright spot for the Sixers has been Jared McCain. Pretty much.
He's 2 days into the NBA. But he's not 3 lectures behind.
He's
Been
a
watching
dog.
his vlogs on YouTube. Actually, quite entertaining.
You've actually been watching Jared McCain.
I watched like 5 minutes of one.
You watch his TikToks too?
No.
Yeah, you do.
I'm 2 days
Don't
into
lie.
college and I'm 3 lectures behind.
Back on topic.
What are you, the host now?
Chris Pittman
He's been
himself.
gunning for my spot all year.
Yeah. It's like,
I just like do what?
keep going.
Well, the Bucks should not have won last night because Giannis stepped out of bounds.
Yeah,
with
I
17
just saw a
seconds left.
notification about that.
So speaking of the Rockets, who they did beat, they have been the biggest team that I have kept tabs on. I was rooting for them. What are you talking? Colin, what's going on?
I'm very entertained with your take right now.
Okay, yeah.
Good take.
Good
The,
take.
the fact that the Rockets are insane right now. They're 10-5, playing amazing basketball.
Who did they lose to last night?
They lost to the Milwaukee Bucks.
Exactly. The team that's
Somehow.
going to make the Eastern Conference
You know,
Finals
they
this
lost.
year.
They lost to the Bucks, who
Whatever
stepped out of
you're
bounds
on,
with 17
give me
seconds
some.
left.
Just give us Chris Middleton back.
I need
That's
some
all
of
I'm
that.
gonna say.
Yeah, Chris Middleton.
That's
Real,
gone.
real
I
needle
I need some
mover
of that
there.
Energy C or whatever you're drinking
Vitamin
over there.
C?
Vitamin C.
What do they call it?
Emergency.
Emergency,
Emergency.
that's what it
Good
is.
stuff.
No.
His secret
No, it's
juice.
awful.
Dude's drinking a screwdriver, trying to fool everyone.
It's my secret stuff.
I just think that the Rockets have a great mix of younger guys and veterans like Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet, and it's just exciting to
Dylan
watch. He's
Yeah,
he's
and
an
Alfred
instigator.
Dylan
Şengün.
Brooks sucks.
He's an
Dude,
inst-
that Bucks Rockets game was one of the worst games of basketball I've ever watched in my life. Dylan Brooks
You
probably
actually watched that game?
You watched
Yes.
it?
Wow.
You with the
I had
displeasure
stakes.
of watching
The
There were
self-discipline you must have.
there were
Yeah,
stakes.
that was great discipline.
There were
Put up.
stakes. Obviously, I was watching the game. But dude, it's like the Bucks offense sucks.
Yep.
It's either Dame or Giannis jogging up the floor. And
Yeah.
then
Or Brooke Lopez drops
And then,
27
like-
points.
and then everyone else
Randomly.
just going to like smashing in the corners, smashing themselves into the corners.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then a brick. Followed by an immediate brick and a possible
Can I just say that
offensive
one
rebound.
positive sign about yesterday is that Pat Connaughton did not play. AJ Green seems to have taken those minutes.
I'd
AJ
say-
Green played great.
I'd say
Played a
trade
good game.
him.
Derry Bird is
But-
one of the best young NBA players.
Derry Bird.
Derry Bird.
Is that really his name?
Yeah, that's
That's
what
a real player.
Yeah, his name is AJ Green. We
Oh,
call him Derry
okay.
Bird because it's Wisconsin.
Yeah,
And,
AJ
you know,
Green is a good player.
Yeah.
Pat Connaughton is not. I'd say trade him, but all you could get back is like a medium fry for McDonald's.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Pack of Clorox wipes. That's
Yeah.
what I've been saying.
That might be a little offensive to the other team.
Yeah. We're not going to give up our water boy for Pat Connaughton. Are you kidding me? Get out of here. Come back with a real
Our
offer.
Tide Pods.
Dude, the floor mopper,
Our
the floor
detergent?
mopper is important.
He is. He does a great job.
Exactly. Mikey?
Own your role.
The Chicago Bulls make me very sad watching basketball sometimes, but they will not tomorrow because they're playing the Milwaukee Bucks, absolute stinky team. So it's a guaranteed 7-9 by the end of tomorrow. So I'm very excited about that.
All right.
Kobe-
I hope you're wrong this
All right.
time.
Yeah, I probably will be. The one time I actually, speak with somewhat confidence about the Bulls, they're probably going to poop themselves on the court, knowing how this normally rolls.
Clean up aisle Zach LaVine's pants.
No,
All right.
It would probably be more like Josh Giddey's pants or
All
Patrick
right.
Williams' pants.
Wait. Okay.
What do you say?
Oh, what are we doing?
What'd you say?
We're moving on to the
What
next
did I
topic
do?
before this gets
We
too
didn't even
weird.
get into the West. Way to go. Way to go.
Can I just talk about the Lakers?
Can we
Fine,
just talk about
1 minute.
the West real
1
quick?
minute.
All right,
One
wait a
minute.
minute.
Do anything.
Lakers are great. Look at all the
Pelicans,
top 10
terrible.
teams.
I wanted to talk about this last topic, but it doesn't look like we're going to have much time.
We're gonna
None
have
of, the,
time.
none of the top 10 teams in the West can beat the Lakers in a 7-game series. So, see ya in June, I guess.
I don't know about that.
The
I
Kings
do.
stink, the Mavs stink, the Pelicans stink, and these are all big shocks to me because these were all playoff teams last year. Mavericks making the finals, and they've really regressed. What?
Klay Thompson.
Oh, Klay Thompson. Yeah. He
That's why they
weekly
stink.
occurrence
That's
of-
why they stink.
he sucks. He sucks hard. But it's like everyone else also sucks. Dude, Devin Booker's been on a disaster class lately.
Don't remind me.
I
He's
mean-
on my fantasy team.
You're out Kevin Durant, It's like, why can't you just be that Devin Booker before Kevin Durant got there? What happened? Did he take your manhood away? Are you mad because he's a better ball player than you?
manhood?
I don't get it. I don't like Devin Booker. I think he's a crybaby whiner. And I think, dude, every time he gets doubled, he complains.
Yeah.
He's like,
Ever
like,
since
why
I
would
saw
they
that-
not double you?
Ever
You're
since
good
I saw
at
that
basketball.
clip of him complaining about being double teamed in pickup, I was like, oh, he's soft.
Yeah.
Rest in peace,
Like
Kobe. Kobe
Gerber
would
baby
never
food,
watched Devin Booker
soft.
play basketball.
Clearly not. But with Colin, do you have any other thoughts on this?
Oh, I said what I got to say. See you in June. Lakers.
Fair enough.
Being the
Okay.
Niners.
Against the
78-4.
Rockets.
Against the Bucks.
Against the Rockets.
But
Rockets, Western
moving on
Conference
to our
Finals.
last topic, we're gonna go really quickly through this one. I wanted to talk about cursed franchises because a lot of Bears fans after Sunday, if you've, I'm assuming you saw the matchup where the Packers blocked the field goal at the end of the game, and there were some hilarious crash outs all over the internet by Chicago fans that day talking about why is it always us. And I wanted to ask the question to each of you guys. We're not gonna have a ton of time for this, but who is in sports you feel the most cursed franchise of all time?
The
Laz,
Browns.
I'll start with you.
I mean, of all time, it would have to be the Bears.
Yeah.
I think it just has.
Well,
to
they
be
had the
Bears.
80s.
I disagree
They had the 80s.
because
They did
there's
have the
teams that have
80s.
had it a lot worse than the Bears
But
have.
in
If
my
you think about it,
lifetime, in my lifetime, it's got to be the Bears.
They made a
Yeah.
Super.
or like
Correct.
pre-2016.
They've made a
Cubs.
Super Bowl. They made an
Yeah,
NFC
probably
Championship
the-
game.
probably
Now the
2016
last 10
Cubs,
years, you can say
pre-2016
definitely,
Cubs.
but
Pre-2016
that's fair as well.
Cubs. Lakers against the Nuggets.
all right, on to Colin now. You guys have a
Bears.
championship.
You
You have a
asked.
championship.
Real quick,
Couple,
I want to
18.
say after the game, I personally messaged Carl Brooks thanking him for his efforts.
Attaboy, Colin.
job,
I was
Colin.
enamored with him. He shot up from like 9,000 followers to like 13,000 in like an hour. Respectfully, nobody knew who he was. Now we all do. But
I knew who he was.
I knew he was.
I knew he was.
I
Dog.
didn't. I'm a casual.
Out of Bowling Green.
But a couple teams I got here. I'm gonna skim over the first two. I got the Bills, 4 straight Super Bowl losses in the 90s, and then just as they get good, you run into a dynasty with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. That sucks. You got the Knicks, no championships since the 70s. They never get the big free agency signings. They always choke in the second round. But the team I really want to talk about, the Brooklyn Nets. I mean,
It's a good shout.
how many times have they gone into the offseason, signed a bunch of all-stars, been like, oh, we're going to be good this year, and then 3 weeks later, it's all falling apart. It's all burning down. And I have in my notes here, in all caps, Ben Simmons.
Yeah, how about a Ben Simmons off-season highlight tape
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Brooklyn
That is
Nets
very
gear?
That's a
cursed.
curse.
In Nets gear.
That's a
Yes.
curse.
That's a double
Ben Simmons
entendre.
is just a curse.
He really
a
is.
traveling curse. Every team he goes to, it's like, oh, you're going to be bad until he leaves.
Yep,
At least.
pretty much. On to Ryan.
Pat Murphy, Manager of the Year, just popped.
I just saw that as
Yeah.
well. But
What?
Cursed franchises.
The Brewers manager.
Let's keep on track with the Brewers. I think the playoff Brewers.
I was gonna say the Brewers
Yep.
actually
Playoff
because
Brewers.
there's just a different pain with that team.
It is. Like,
One World Series appearance, didn't make the playoffs for 26
all
years.
right, Chris, you talk. How about this?
Go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead,
Wow,
Ryan.
I almost did a spit take.
On to
This guy's a freshman, mind you.
Talking like he owns the place.
Talking
Well,
about
Look, you got like 8 more months till Chris Pitner's out of your hair and graduated. All right?
Yeah, you never have
then
to see
can-
me
Then
again.
you can run the show.
And then I'm
I
going to
have
be
to deal with
hosting.
his brother next year, and I'm rooming with him though.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I pray for Greg.
What?
Greg will never be right. It's gonna be like an old married couple.
Yeah.
Greg,
All right.
did you take out the trash?
Back on topic.
I would say also the Cleveland Browns. They just can't seem to find a quarterback. Either you have a guy like Baker Mayfield who is good after he leaves Cleveland, or you have a guy like Johnny Manziel who was good prior to Cleveland, and then he gets there and it's just a dumpster fire with Deshaun Watson in that boat as well. But Jameis Winston has a little bit of magic left, but they are 1-2 in the playoffs since 2020, and prior to that they went 21 years without making the playoffs as well. So
Sounds about right. Par for the course, unfortunately, for Ohio. The Bengals don't have much better luck either.
no, but they have Joe Burrow.
They do. 4-7 right now, though.
Yeah, rough.
Mikey,
well, as a Cubs fan, I have to go with the Chicago Cubs. I mean, 108 years without
have
a
you
World
not
Series.
watched the Did
Did
you
you
not
guys
witness
108 years
2016?
without
We
a
already
Six
went
years
over
ago.
pre-2016.
No,
it's
Mikey,
pre-2016.
Mikey, we had never
Like
won
that.
a World Series, so it's been long enough.
Pre-2016 Cubs are the most cursed team of
That's
all
fair.
time.
That's fair. However, the Cubs are not
There's
the most
literally
cursed.
a curse on the team called the Curse of the Billy Goat. There's that.
And you
more
broke it.
curse.
Not yet.
Yeah.
You broke it in 2016 when I was 10 years
Still,
old.
108 years before it was
That's
broken.
like me
That's
saying
insane.
pre-2016 Cavs. Like, sure,
It
but
was
the
still a
Cavs
curse.
are not cursed. They won a championship.
108
Correct.
But it's 108 years without a World
Were
Series.
you alive
It's-
for all 108 years, Mikey?
Thank
Peterson?
God I was not.
I feel bad for someone who was born in 1909 and died in 2015.
I don't
that,
think, as a
was
Cubs fan, if Mikey was born 108 years ago, he'd make it past the age of 45.
Probably not.
I think
I
his heart would
I
give
would have made
out.
it past the age of 35.
It's like being a Brewers fan.
Bro,
Same
go
thing.
into work one day, take a sip of his coffee, and just drop the
His
floor. Coffee, whatever. All right.
Really quickly, before we get to final thoughts, I also want to give a quick shout out to the Minnesota Vikings. I fully despise them. However, top 5 curse franchise of all time.
Oh, yeah,
them and the
that's
Atlanta
fair.
Falcons are two other ones that you could very
Just
easily
wait till
throw
Aaron
in there.
Rodgers goes there next year.
You know, I saw
Minnesota?
To the Falcons or Vikings?
Sam
Vikings.
Darnold is out of a contract, and there's questions around J.J. McCarthy. I'm just saying.
And Aaron Rodgers.
And Devontae
Yeah,
Adams
there's
is also
questions.
going to end
He
up there.
Literally has not played all year. There's going to be questions around
It's going to be a
J.J. McCarthy.
nursing home.
It
Yeah.
really is. Justin Jefferson and the old folks.
Aaron Rodgers is going to
Aaron
be on
Rodgers
his walker.
I actually saw a thing that said Aaron Rodgers has better odds to win the 2028 presidency than the Jets do to win the Super
I
Bowl
did
this
see
year.
that as well.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
wild.
That's, a,
out of the
that's a
playoffs.
legit thing.
That's wild. But without getting into politics, we're going to move on to
Yeah,
final
Mikey,
thoughts
can we keep
here.
it to sports, please?
Laz, I'll start with you.
Sports talk show.
Michael Peterson.
Oh, brother. I guess I'm just excited for this Cavs Celtics game. I really want to see the turnout. Top 2 teams in the East, top 2 teams in the NBA. Going head-to-head. Cavs, obviously undefeated. Celtics, the Eltics, softer than
Hopefully.
Gerber baby food.
We can only hope.
I got the Celtics losing this one by 400 points.
Wow.
Yep.
I like it.
Record-breaking game tonight.
Laz, you have good analogies. I would say.
Only
Thank you so
400?
much. I appreciate it. I like 412. 412 and a half, I'd say, is the line.
That's understandable.
I'm taking the over.
We can't talk about betting on your. Can't talk.
Anyway.
Well, nobody's betting. It's just
No,
that's the line.
that's the
That's
line.
the line. It's a fact.
All right, on to Colin.
Got it.
That game will be exciting, but I just want to say Dalton Connect, Rookie of the Year. That man amazes me night in, night out. He's like Austin Reeves, but maybe better.
All right.
He's a rookie.
Let's pump the
Shut your
brakes a
mouth.
little bit.
What are you
Shut
talking
your
about,
mouth.
buddy?
I think he's tall. He is taller.
That's a
and I think
Mikey
he's a
Peterson
little. I
take.
think he's a little bit more athletic, and I think
No, because I don't watch the
That
Los
take-
Angeles
No, I'm
Lakers
just
like
saying
that.
it
will be
sucked.
proven true. Just wait.
Wow. I'll write
right.
that one down.
Interesting. On to Ryan.
I would just say the Bucks need to do something this week or next week before it's too late. Either blow it up or trade for someone because sitting here in the middle is not going to end well for your.
Well, they've been
franchise.
playing a little bit better. They've won 3 of 4, and we're a controversial call away from winning on Saturday.
You're supposed to be a
Congratulations.
contending team.
Exactly.
You got Giannis in his prime, Dame at the end of his prime. You got to go. You can't.
I'm
be
not
a 7th
disagreeing
seed.
with you. However, the tides have turned a slight little bit.
I just also hope that their big pickup is not getting Chris Middleton back.
It's gonna be
That's
Ben
probably
Simmons.
what it's going to be.
Ben Simmons.
We can only
Ben
hope
Simmons
not.
mid-season highlight tape in Bucks gear. You guys are screwed if that happens,
Yeah,
dude.
very
For the
true.
next 15 years.
Yeah.
Yep. Mikey?
I'm just excited to watch the Bulls completely destroy the Milwaukee Bucks in a game of basketball. Kobe White's going to drop probably 81 like Kobe Bryant himself. Rest in peace.
Yeah, keep saying
I'm
that.
gonna Kobe White owns your poverty franchise.
Quit your yapping.
I'm very excited to be 7 and 9.
Quit yapping, buddy.
Quit
Excited to
yapping.
be 7
Mute
and
him.
9
Mute him.
at this stage
But,
of the season.
Quit yapping.
Really quickly, I also just want to share that Philly is 2-11 right now. Something to note.
Yeah, as soon as I drafted Joel Embiid in my fantasy team, they decided
They
they were going to be
imploded.
the worst
Yeah, I
basketball
did.
team
Nick
of all
Nurse
time.
might be out of a job
But I
pretty
did
soon.
take Mr. Donovan Mitchell.